All right, Friday, July 12th, garden update. Everything's looking pretty good. Here's the tomatoes. I've all the tomatoes that died while I was in the Philippines. Fortunately, I replaced them. We'll see how they do. I found all these volunteer tomatoes in my other garden bed, meaning they just kind of randomly sprouted up. They're doing a lot better than the ones I planted by seed. If you can see here, there's the ones I planted by seed. And then here's a volunteer, much bigger. I'm really starting to love these cages I built. Seem to really contain the tomato plant a lot better than those little wire cages. Those things suck. I do have some caterpillars living in here. I've been coming out in the early mornings, like 3 a.m. Really been capturing them and smashing them. I'm gonna spray again with BT, but we'll see how the rain just washes that stuff off, so I just got to keep applying it. So that's the tomatoes. Carrots are doing pretty good. I'm not seeing any orange yet, but they're definitely growing. I've gone through this and it looks like they're just really packed in here, but I got them pretty well thinned out. I mean, there might be some that are fairly close together. The beets are really thick though. I do need to do some more thinning here. I was just kind of waiting for the bulbs to kind of form a little bit so I can kind of see them. It's really hard to tell if it's one plant or multiple plants next to each other. But you got the basil, as usual, it's really slow, and then it's just gonna all come up at once, and I'm gonna have just this glut of basil. I don't even really know why I planted so much of it, but I'm gonna have just a mountain of it, I'm sure, once this really starts to grow. And the peppers, they're getting there. Hopefully they sprout up. A couple more tomatoes here. I kind of randomly planted peas everywhere, and all those little spots, they're doing pretty good. Just because it always seems like I run out of peas. Hey. Kids are inside eating chicken nuggets while I'm out here making this video, so. This strawberry plant, I'm just nothing but impressed with it. I mean, it's just been producing every morning. I come out and the kids get, 3 or 4 strawberries off of it. And it's maybe 1.5 times what it was last year when I bought it. And I think it's just going to kind of just keep expanding. Got some runners. So that's another strawberry plant right there. Maybe I'll just kind of transfer that over here. There's a couple red ones there. Red kind of forming there. And I'm installing these flower bed gardens here. I'm going to be planting just tons of bulbs. And really I had tulips in here already. But what I noticed is that the deer were getting them. Well, now with this little frame, I can secure some fencing and prevent the deer, hopefully. Onions, doing really good. These few peppers. The seeds I planted are really kind of struggling to become anything. They're kind of stuck at that level, which basically concerns me in the sense that it's such a short growing season. These ones I really doubt will ever reach, at the point where these are and produce anything. So we'll just have to see. And this cabbage is finally starting to grow. It'll be nice to have some red cabbage, provided that they don't get eaten alive by whatever ants or whatever it is that's eating them. And again, all these little pepper seeds that I planted, they're just really barely coming up to anything. We'll just have to see. Really, the summer just started up here, so I mean, there's still, the thing is, it's just so short. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm really surprised this one's come back. It was just completely shredded down to the stem, and it's really come back. There was caterpillars in here eating all these leaves, and I mean, obviously they're not anymore because this one's given a chance to come back. I mean, like right when I got back here, those caterpillars were just already established, just going to work. And I'd come out the next day and a whole plant would be just vanished, stem and all. But yeah, that BT really works. Keep saying that. I'm kind of looking forward to this cucumber. It's a different kind of cucumber. It's called a getaway. We'll see. And first time I've had luck with asparagus, so I'm just kind of letting this grow free. And I figured I'd plant some peppers in there too. I'm not seeing that seed packet of hottest peppers in the world come up at all. I thought maybe this was a pepper, but it almost looks like a tomato. And should have some nice peas in here too. They're doing really well. It'll be kind of a cool little arch full of peas. And actually, all my spinach I already ripped out. It was already starting to bolt, and the leaves were just really bitter, and just unbelievable how spinach does not, like, it's only basically a spring crop. Once the summer hits, it really just turns into garbage. But I got a little cabbage here. My Brussels sprouts are doing good. Hopefully they do something. Another little cabbage. And then those little buggers back there are broccoli. Eggplant has really turned around. Really impressed with that. Well, hopefully I get some good eggplants. Kale. And some more cabbage. These are doing good too. They've come really far in the past couple days. So far I'm really liking this new trellis that I built. It's just 3 10-foot rebar posts I hammered into the ground. And it's basically all peas, green beans, and cucumbers, and a little bit more peas. But yeah, the cucumbers are getting there. So far, nothing doing in the mushroom garden. I did come through here a couple days ago and I thumped everything. And I don't know if you know what that means or not, but basically, for some reason, when you make these mushroom totems, you go through a process of chilling them and thumping them. And granted, I didn't dip them in ice water to trigger them, but I did take a 2x4 and just come and, hit them moderately to put some vibration through these totems, and hopefully that triggers a flush. And I got this group of slow growing zucchini. I've kind of struggled with these. I'm not really sure why it's growing so slowly. Could be this back garden I know is a lot colder. It's out. It seems like in the morning it gets sun, but it's, you know, so cooled off by the night that, and like, yeah, right now it's getting sun, but by about noon you get a lot of shadow. But I'll just keep working at it. Like, this one just seems to really stagnant, and look at this one, seems like it's dying off, which I'm not really happy about, because I mean, these things need time. But believe it or not, I think this one's a spaghetti squash here, I hope. But it was a volunteer in that asparagus bed that just kind of started sprouting. So hopefully it turns into something. I haven't really been aggressively weeding this garden, because once these things do get big, they're gonna kill all the weeds, because they're just gonna swamp it all out. So I've just been kind of trying to get the weeds out around each plant so that they get sun and don't get their roots crowded out. I'm really happy about these flower baskets too, because all these are from seeds that I collected last year and just grew my own. They are really slow growers though. And the last one here is more basil. And there's some elephant garlic popping up, and the radishes are for shit. This whole side should be filled with radishes, and there's just a few seem to barely be growing, and it's really hard to differentiate between what's a radish and what's a weed. And then also something's eating the radishes. Every time I pull one up, it's just been munched on. So I don't know if it's ants. The lettuce is still doing really good. Every time I cut it, just multiplies, and we've just been taking bucket after bucket to all the neighbors down the road and giving it to coworkers, and so a pretty good year for lettuce. And that's all.